Welcome back to my channel, and here I am today with a video of Latent Spaces, which is an immersive experience in Canary Wharf. It's just in Crossrail Place, and it's also known as Illusionaries, and the tickets are around £24 for an adult and £16 for a child. So I always share my 100% honest opinion on these experiences, so you know exactly what you're going to get before spending your hard-earned money on going to them. Now, this one was, in my opinion, the most disappointing immersive experience that I have been to, especially for the price point. When I compare it to the others, I definitely don't think it had as much. It was quite small and repetitive, in my opinion. So when you walk in, you're in this light tunnel, and that was definitely one of my favourite parts. That was really cool because you could enter and leave as many times as you wanted. It served as a corridor essentially, and it had different doors along it, and you could enter into the rooms. So this was the first room, which was a screen of AI images. So here is my other point about this experience, and this is probably just personal to me. Obviously we all have our own morals around things, but I personally didn't like the fact that all of the art in this exhibition was produced by AI. I feel it means that actual artists missed out on an opportunity to be paid and to have an exhibit. And I'm just not really into the moral ethics of AI art replacing art and replacing artists, but that's probably my personal opinion. And if you like AI art and you're okay with it, then you will probably like this experience because it's all AI essentially. Now, even though I felt it was a bit repetitive because essentially every room was pretty much the same, there wasn't much interactive stuff at this one, it was very Instagrammable. So if you just want to go and take beautiful videos and pictures, then I do think it was great for that. Everything did come out looking really nice on the camera. So when you come out of room 1, you enter back into the corridor of lights, and then you will enter into room 2. And I do think this was probably my favourite room of all the rooms. It was mirrored from floor to ceiling, and it did create some beautiful imagery and effects. It seemed to really vary as to how people behaved in this room, depending on who was in it. So sometimes everybody would be sat down and they would get really upset if you stood up and wanted to take a picture. And sometimes it would just be people milling around, taking selfies. So it seemed to really vary as to who was in it at the time, how they treated that room. As you can see, at this point, people were really milling around and using it more like an exhibition space. But there were, as you could see, other times when people were just sat in a neat line and didn't really like anybody standing up. It seemed to be very set by the audience. So finally you enter this small corridor which has some digital art pieces on the walls and a moving floor, and then you walk through to the AI faces section where they just have a number of AI characters scrolling around on a loop. And then the final room, I've left the volume on for a second so that you can actually hear what it's like when you enter. So when you enter this room, it's a very dark room with beanbags on the floor and a circular screen showing a number of images, again made by artificial intelligence. But the floor is covered in these pebbles, and I think it's supposed to add to the experience. But all you hear when you're in this room is the constant crunching and movement of pebbles, and it actually gets really annoying to me anyway. I couldn't stay in this room very long. Maybe some people enjoy it, but it was just constant noise. I did find these animals very, very cute though, and they gave me some inspiration for some clay pieces that I want to make. Maybe I was a little bit harsh on this, but I just feel that there are other experiences that are probably better value for money.